Hey, my friend. Welcome back to another episode of the Coaching Show. My name is Brenda Reynolds with the F Words of Life. So glad to have you back watching this live or on the replay on social media. Love having you here. Say hi in the comments. Tell me where you're watching from if I don't know you. If you're a veteran of the show, say hi in the comments and let me know you're watching. Happy summer, coming to you here on a beautiful sunny day in San Diego. Summer has definitely arrived after a lot of rain, so I'm super excited about that. And that got me thinking about summer break, right? For your kids, getting out of school. I know a lot of graduations are happening from all levels. I see your post on social media from kindergarten graduations to high school to college, and then those that are just getting their summer break in between grades. And it got me thinking back to my favorite summertime vacation, not vacation, summer activity. Yeah, that's what I meant. We didn't really take too many summer vacations. Didn't have a lot of money when my family when I was growing up. And if some of you know the story, my mom was sick when I was little with cancer. Eventually went into remission and blah blah blah. But anyway, one of the great activities that we did is we had a local library, and I grew up in a small town, 19,000 people ish, in the entire county. And so the library was for the entire county, and they would put on free events for the kids and readings. And I remember going when I was in elementary school, then, definitely in middle school, and even early high school. And every summer, pretty much every week, we'd go to the library and check out books. They were free, right? And I would check out a stack of books and take them home, read them cover to cover. Some books I would read twice, it just depended. And it really is a great memory that I have. And I know that must be where my love of reading really got supported and really got to blossom. And I really, really do love to read. You guys can see the books. This is not even a little bit of them. And most that I have here in my office and studio, they're, personal growth books, they're business books, books on leadership, books on productivity, books on teams, books on spirituality. Those are kind of my favorite genres of nonfiction. And then I just love reading fiction. I love novels. And again, I think that love came from growing up going to the library. I didn't have to read in the summer. Definitely it was encouraged, but it wasn't like I had to pass a test, right? I could read for sheer pleasure. I could check out books that I really wanted to read because my mom was happy as long as I was reading. Because, growing up also, we're talking, I'm going to reveal my age. I'm 44. So, this was back in the 80s when I was in elementary school. And, we didn't have cable. So we had 4 TV channels. 4. Okay? 4. For those of you that had cable. We did not. And so there wasn't a lot of TV to watch. And my mom didn't, really like us watching a lot of TV. I did a lot of outdoor activities too. We played, ran around on the pavement with no shoes on. It's just amazing. Played in the street, played tennis in the street. It was a safe street. There wasn't a lot of traffic. And I'm not talking about when I was like 4 and 5. I'm talking about when I was, 10, 11, 12, running around in the neighborhood. But still, one of my favorite activities was going to the library. And I loved the smell of the library. I loved all of the books. And that's really, I think, like I said, where I got this love of books. I love the way they smell. I love the way they look. If you come into my home, that's the biggest part of my living room are the bookshelves where I have books. And obviously I've run out because I've started stacking this way and this shelf back here in my office. And so I really just do. I love books. And obviously I love what's inside. I love that you can get a book. And obviously I purchase a lot of books, but even if you don't have the money to purchase books, you can still go to the library, my friend, and you can check out books, right? And you can learn and you can grow so much from just what's inside, a $10, $15, $20 book. And as much as I love school and my education, I've talked about this, there's nothing like self-education. Now it's so readily available through podcasts, through live streams like this that are absolutely free. Obviously, you've got online courses, you've got live seminars, you've got books, you've got audio books, you've got all kinds of options for putting the good stuff in, self-educating. And so I do love nonfiction very much. However, I want to share with you again, I have an absolute love for fiction. I like historical fiction. I love novels. It really just depends. I get a lot of recommendations. Amazon, my app loves to give me recommendations based on books I've purchased in the past. I watched my mom reading when I was growing up. She raised 5 kids. I'm the youngest of 5. When I was growing up, my oldest brother and sister were already out of the house. They were 17 and 18 when I was born, and so there were 3 of us in the house. But I mean, we really grew up with my mom reading, and even my oldest sister says she always remembers my mom reading. And it wasn't that she was reading War and Peace. I mean, a lot of times it was, do you guys remember Harlequin romances? I think that was her way to kind of take a break from all of us kids and, her to escape. Again, we didn't have cable, so it's not like you had 400 channels and Netflix and Hulu and, Prime Video where you could stream movies and escape that way. Books were the way to escape. They were a way through the imagination to, just be in a different place. And I believe that, as much like I said, as I love nonfiction, I love fiction because you can still learn. You learn new words, new vocabulary, you learn creativity, you learn imagination. I love the Harry Potter series. It's one of my favorite all time. What an imagination. What a way to create this whole new world. And yes, it's a great series for kids, but I tell you, as an adult, I read it and I found it absolutely magnificent. So, like I said, I love all different types of genres of fiction. And what really got me thinking about it was, thinking about summer break. But I also got a new book yesterday. And I hadn't read fiction in a while. I've really been focused on nonfiction. I've been doing these live casts for you guys. I'm developing a lot of training in the background. I do organizational training. I do personal development training. And so everything that I've been reading lately has been spirituality, personal development, personal growth, productivity, teams, leadership, like I was talking about. And so yesterday I just read for sheer pleasure. And I got a new book, and if you don't like it, that's okay. But for me, I'm enjoying it. It's the new book by Elizabeth Gilbert. It's about 460 something pages. Yesterday I read about, I think, 130 pages and about a quarter of the book, and I forced myself to stop because that's the other thing with me in fiction. I can get started on a good book if it's a really good novel and I don't want to put it down. It's like I want to see the end of the movie, right? But it's not necessarily a 2-hour time frame. It takes a little bit longer, and I also want to enjoy it. So I forced myself to stop about a quarter of the way through, but I just was so enjoying myself yesterday, and I just had some music going in the background. It was a beautiful day, and I just took the day off, and that's what I did. So I want to encourage you. Your coaching today is, you're going to read this summer, or you're going to put good stuff in, whether it's books for pleasure, whether it's trashy novels that are just romance novels, are you going to listen to some audiobooks? What are you going to do this summer with your kids, with yourself? That's creative. Are you going to color? Are you going to paint? But getting that other side of your brain engaged, right? The not so analytical, but getting that creative right side of your brain engaged. And so whether you're sitting by the pool, you're sitting outside watching the kids play, if you haven't picked up a good book in a while, for sheer pleasure, I encourage you to do so. It really did give me a boost yesterday. It just kind of recharged me in a different way than even watching a movie or, kind of checking out that way. And so that's my message today is, have you read? How are you facilitating that in your life? How are you facilitating that in your kids? Are you developing a love for reading with them? Do they see you reading? If you hate reading, again, do the audiobook thing. I'm okay with that. If that's better for you, get Audible, get some audiobooks, listen, or, if you'd rather do podcasts, and I know there are podcasts that are fiction and stories, and I haven't gotten into that. So if you have good recommendations, leave them in the comments. What's your favorite books of all time? Any books that I should have on my summer reading list that I should be attacking this summer, be it nonfiction or fiction. Share with me in the comments, and that's it for today, my friends. Enjoy your books this summer. read for pleasure, and I'll see you on our next episode of The Coaching Show.